1st, 2025, what is about to happen to basically majority of clothing brand owners out there? Now, I know that you watching this because more than likely you want to start a brand, or you've been thinking about running up a brand, or you probably already running up your brand, you know what I'm saying? But you just got some constraints and you on the whole new year, new me, you feel me? So I'm about to break down to you exactly what's gonna happen in the next 12 months for you and your mama or whoever that wants to start a brand out there, you feel me? So, and if you don't know, my name is Chris. I go by the Prince Machiavelli. I've ran and scaled brands for the past 10 years. I know what it's like taking a concept to reality and literally going from zero to hundreds and thousands of dollars, yet millions of dollars in sales with one brand, and as well with other brands that I've helped, consulted, have partnerships with, and everything else in between. So let's get into what's about to happen in the year 2025, starting January 1st. So this right here is month one, right? I don't know when you're watching this video, but this was basically every single person that wanted to run a brand in the year 2025. It's a lot of people. Imagine all these little dots, a whole bunch of people, right? Then after a few, months, this big number right here, it dropped down to a little bit of people. And as you can see, it keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller over time. So it goes from over here to over there. So imagine this is the masses, right? January 1st, 2025, everybody that wants to start up a brand, you feel me? Then it comes down to just a little bit of people, you know, after just like a few weeks or a few months. And this is the reality, right? That the masses, they mental frameworks, and the people that's even lasted just a little bit, their mental frameworks as well is completely flawed and screwed. Now, let me kind of unpack that. So when we look up here at the mental frameworks that you have to have when it comes to running a brand, has to be the opposite of what I'm about to break down right now. So majority of people, they're in this just to make a quick grab. They're not really in this to really bring value into the marketplace. And I know that you probably hear this all the time, or you probably even say this, I want to make $10,000 in 90 days, right? Or you hear somebody else saying, or maybe even you, I need to scale my brand. I need to scale it. But how can you scale it when there's nobody that even knows about your brand, right? Then if we go over here, it's just like, why is nobody buying my shit? You know what I'm saying? Why is nobody buying my brand? Nobody's buying my brand. Help me, bro, help me. You know what I'm saying? And the reality is that their mind frame or their mind framework is completely flawed and messed up compared to the person, you know what I'm saying, that probably put 2-3 years in of input to see the output that he wanted, compared to the person that just started this, like the masses up here. And you tend to see this a lot with the people that's even lasted a few months in or a few weeks in. Their mind frame is just all about how can I receive, but they're not about giving nothing at all. And the only way that you ever receive conversation in this world is first that you have to give value. It don't matter if I'm a kid outside selling lemonade, I have to give a lot just to even receive back a little bit, right? So now, once you let this go, you know what I'm saying, after you done came to the conclusion that this type of mind frame isn't gonna work, and now you in the letting go stage of your ego, now you gotta come into the framework of building what I have a K right here, which is basically for knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You're not knowledgeable about what it is that you're really getting yourself into. Let me unpack this, right? I had one of my cousins the other day, he was trying to come to me about running up his brand, you know what I'm saying, and him trying to start up a brand, but he has no knowledge outside of the creative part with it. He doesn't know anything about the production. He doesn't know about how to do everything when it comes to digital marketing. He doesn't even know what media buying and acquisition and CPAs and lifetime value and all of these small intricate things that really make up for the brand, right? So I'm telling him, like, why don't you just be in your Malcolm X stage of just receiving knowledge? Why don't you get into the books, get on YouTube? But the most biggest experience is actually getting out there into the playing field and actually making some shit happen, because that's where you're gonna get all of the knowledge. It's like you can practice to fight Mike Tyson, but once you get hit, all that shit kind of goes out the door. You fighting him, that's what's gonna give you all the perspective in the world, right? So once you have a little bit of knowledge, what comes with that, right? Wisdom, right? So now you gain in some wisdom, and the wisdom is nothing but the perspective that you get in. So it's just how I say, we can read 1,000 books on marketing, but what would you rather do? Read 1,000 books on marketing, or why don't you just post 1,000 times on TikTok or 300 times on TikTok? You're gonna get a whole lot of feedback a whole lot quicker than just reading and sitting on the side and never taking action. So that's where all the wisdom is going to come from. You get what I'm saying? And then once we have knowledge plus wisdom, that brings us to understanding. So everybody's brand is different, right? Some people, they got different business models. Some people do hyper leases. Some people got their store evergreen, which is open 24/7. Some people do self-liquidating offers on the front end. It's a bunch of tangible things, right? But once you have the knowledge plus wisdom and understanding for your situation, now we going into a different playing field, right? But the thing is that you got to remember that it takes time. You know what I'm saying? For you to get the full understanding of what it takes to run a brand, how to run a brand, this isn't coming in 90 days. This is taking a very, very, very long time. And you don't want to be none of those people, because I know that you see it all the time. All these people up on TikTok or Instagram, and they blowing up within the first 8 months or whatever, running a brand. Where are they at now? 2 years ago, it was almost like starting a clothing brand was almost like becoming a rapper. You know what I'm saying? But whereas 80% of those people now that was even popping, they fell off. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to grow vertically. You want to grow horizontally when it comes to running a brand. But when you're growing horizontally, just imagine a buffer, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But the bigger it's getting, not just only the brand is growing, but you building a compound engine machine, even within yourself, gaining the prerequisites that's needed to grow a clothing brand. You feel me? So now, once we understand this, right? Now, this is kind of like the harsh reality, you know, for a lot of people that are trying to run up a brand this year. You know what I'm saying? So the reality is, just like what we kind of talked about, is that your lack of prerequisites are needed. So the reason why you're not at $10,000 a month, the reason why you're not at $20K a month, $100,000 a month, $250,000 a month, is not because of the lack of design. It's not because of the lack of your website. It's not because of the lack of none of those things. It's simply a lack of all of those things in total, because the reality is that you lack a lot of prerequisites. You know what I'm saying? You either lacking something with the marketing, you lacking something with the sales, you're probably lacking something with the back end, or maybe even something with the front end. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that you're not iterating enough, and you're not putting in enough volume, you know what I'm saying, to actually get feedback to see what it is that's keeping me at this threshold of $2,000 or $5,000 or 10K or 100K a month. You get what I'm saying? So that's a harsh reality. The second one is that you're not focused on the micro and on the macro. So the micro is the things that you are doing this week, the things that you are doing today. The macro is the longevity of the brand. So a lot of people don't even have clarity. I should have put that up on the board too. A lot of people lack clarity as far as they don't even know where they headed. They don't even know what their brand is about. They don't even know who their brand is for, but yet they want to sit here and make $100,000, $50,000 a month. That's kind of foolish, right? So the thing is, when it comes to being focused, it doesn't take you working like an immigrant 12 hours a day. You feel me? All you have to do is look at the front end of the brand. And these are the top 2 questions that you should be asking yourself every single day. One, is the task that I'm doing, is it bringing me more sales? Secondly, is the task that I'm doing, is it making my lifetime value with the customer longer? So let me kind of unpack this to you. So if the task that you're doing right now is not potentially bringing any new customers through the front door, then you're doing the wrong thing. And there's only 2 things that you can be doing. That's either running paid ads or that's making organic content. Majority people, I'm not saying you, but majority people that want to start a clothing brand, they're broke. You feel me? That's why they want to come up in this, because they think it's easy to just make money, right? So if all you got is time, because when you're broke, all you have is time. So why don't you just start putting out the content with the pieces or the samples that it may be that you have? Secondly, when it comes to that second question that I had, is it making the LTV long or stretched out longer, right, with the customer that has already bought in? So let's just say you got a brand doing a few $100s, few $1,000s a day or every month or whatever it may be. This is where you working on the back end as far as putting out new sales or putting out new offers, putting out new email campaigns and things like that, to where now you making money in your sleep and now you selling on the back end for somebody that's already bought into your brand. right? So now if you can just get focused on that just 2 to 3 hours a day, you're crushing the person that's working 10, 12 hours a day and he's working on designs and all this miscellaneous bullshit that really doesn't matter at all. You know what I'm saying? And this is how you start to run laps around everybody, and you're saving yourself time and you're doing less, but you're getting more on the short end, or on the front end and on the back end, and on the short term and the long term with your brand. So now this is another cold one right here. The barrier to entry is too low. So now you're probably asking, well, what the hell do you mean by the barrier to entry is too low to run a brand? The reality is, right, that running a brand is probably one of the easiest things you can do, but it's probably one of the most complicated things that you can do. And let me kind of unpack this. Like, the day that you see somebody, and this goes for any industry, if you don't remember nothing from this video, just remember this, that the day that you see somebody that's 13 or 15 or 16 years old trying to teach you on how to make money at whatever it is, that's when you know that the barrier to entry got too low. Right? I don't see an 18-year-old on YouTube showing me how to, run a car dealership or how to make an RV business or whatever it may be. And I'm just talking, and just lamest terms, but you get where I'm coming with this, is that the reality is that I see so many people that are young, and it's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? 15, 16, 18 years old. They haven't lasted seasons doing this. They haven't lasted 5 years in doing this. So their perspective is flawed. Even if they are winning, even if they are seeing millions of dollars or whatever it may be, their perspective is flawed. You feel me? So they coming into this on some shit like, oh, well, let me teach it because I just won in 6 months. And now the barrier to entry is getting lower and lower and lower. It's not hard to go to Alibaba to go find manufacturers. It's not hard to put a product out there, put it on the ground, and then, hey guys, go buy my stuff on the pre-order. That's not hard to do. But having all those prerequisites, kind of like I said right up here, and you're lacking of those prerequisites, those are what is needed to actually last 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years doing this if you really want to do this. So just remember that when the barrier to entry gets too low, that's when it kind of gets too shaky. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many people getting scammed. There's so many customers that are trying to buy from these independent brands, and they're not having good experiences with them. They're not having a good service with them due to the fact that that kid or whoever it may be that's running that brand, they don't even really have the prerequisites and the skill sets themselves. Even if they just ran it up, they don't really even know what the hell that they're doing, but yet they're trying to teach it, and then they up on YouTube or whatever it may be. And I'm sure that, it's all with pure intentions, but just always remember that when you see a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old kid or 18-year-old kid trying to teach some shit on something that you're trying to do as an adult, you probably just got to look at that like the barrier to entry got too low. And it's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing, it is what it is, right? So now we're going over here to your brand model, right? So this one is kind of tricky, you know what I'm saying? And this one is going to take, the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding of your situation and your brand to figure out what type of business model I'm running with inside of my clothing brand. So what I mean is, some people like to do the pre-order method. Some people like to do hype releases. Some people like to keep the store open, which we like to call evergreen stores. Some people like to sell t-shirts for cheap. Some like to go expensive. Some likes to go right there in between the sandwich and just have like a medium price for everybody. It's like, but all of those things that I just even named off right there, that takes like a lot of iterating, you know what I'm saying, on getting actual feedback from your audience, because you can be a brand right now trying to build a luxury brand on some Virgil Abloh type shit, and then nobody even wants that. But maybe people want that, but then if you sell it for 1/3 or 1/4 of the initial price of the luxury brand that you're trying to sell, maybe everybody might be trying to go grab it now. You feel me? So just always remember that when it comes to running your brand, you got to really get clear on like who you serving. And then from there is that you're not going to really create the brand business model. The audience that you serving is going to kind of create that business model for you. Like Supreme, when James Jivier started Supreme in 1995, he didn't wake up one morning and was like, oh, I'm going to make this hype brand. It wasn't like that. the marketplace made his brand like that. So just always remember that you need to get real clear on who you serving, as well as like what type of brand business model that like you're trying to run. And because now if you go into it with the intention of like, okay, yeah, let me try the fucking pre-order hyper lease method. You know what I'm saying? Once you try that, and if they not fucking with that, maybe you might want to try to go the whole pre-made route and just be like, fuck it, like let me keep my store open and just make money every single day. And then you never know, you can probably start making $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a day, obviously with ads and organic, and you got all the other systems dialed in, but it's like, shit, this is working for me. So don't get caught up in what me or anybody else is doing with their brand. Like, just go get clear and dive deep into like what is working from you, and then just hold on to that and then take it the long way. All right. So now, right here, I got these two circles open, and I'm about to show y'all a very harsh truth when it comes to running a brand, right? So always remember this. Y'all with me, right? So always remember this, when it comes into the marketplace, right? That I'm gonna do let me color this one. So just always remember that this right here is 80%, right, of the marketplace. So imagine that these are customers or consumers, you know what I'm saying, right? Y'all, you with me on this? Y'all with me, right? So just think that this is 80% of the marketplace, right? This little red square that I just did, this is the top 20% of brands, right? In whatever lane that you're in, because everybody's niche is different. So for example, let's just say I got a Christian brand, right? The top 20% of the Christian brands is eating 80% of the marketplace, 80%. 80% of people are going to the top dogs in whatever lane that you're in. So even if you got a brand that's for atheist people or whatever it may be, right? You need to look at like, who's the LeBron, who's the Kobe, who's the Michael Jordan of that, because the reality is that they're getting 80% of the marketplace, okay? So now when I go like this, and I know y'all ain't trying to see my beautiful Picasso drawings right here, you know what I'm saying? This right here is a cold reality right here. So imagine now that this is 80% of clothing brands down here, all circled up, right? This is 80% of clothing brands. And then they're getting the opposite side of the marketplace. So they only getting 20% of customers. So you see how that goes of a Pareto principle? 80% of customers is going to the top 20% of people in whatever lane that you're trying to serve to, right? And then the bottom 80% of brands is only getting 20% of the bottom feeders of the customers. So everybody's down here. That's why I made it red like this. Everybody's down here playing gladiator school, trying to find a customer. You know what I'm saying? But my whole thing is just all like, why don't we look at whatever lane that you in, right? And let's just try to be the Michael Jordan, the LeBron, or the Kobe of that. Because once you do that, right? Once you right here, you're getting all of this market share. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it, right? Who's the 10th best player in the NBA? Nobody knows, nor nobody cares. But if I ask you right now, who's the best player in the league right now? Still LeBron. Who's second? Oh, it's this person. Who's the third? It's this. Who's the fourth? You see where I'm going. As the deeper we go, the least people care. So imagine you right now with your brand, right? And I like to use like the Christian example because it's like the perfect example. And this goes for y'all too. So let's just say you got a Christian brand, you feel me? And you over here all like, okay, everything is going, let's just say you got a Christian women's brand and you became the LeBron, Kobe, or Michael Jordan of that, you getting 80% of that market. You feel me? And obviously this is going to take years and it's going to take time for you to get there. But once you start getting that knowledge, the resources, the capital, you feel me? Now you can start getting 80% of the market. But the reality is right now where you at, you down here with the bottom 80% of all the other clothing brands that you see popping up on your ads every day, unless they like an actual industry leader or they the king of their niche. So if you down here with all the other brands, and if 80% of consumers is going to the top 3 players, the bottom 20% of customers, all these brands down here are fighting for the last 20% of customers. And that's scary, you know what I'm saying? And this is what people don't talk about on YouTube. This is what people don't like to share that's been in the game as long as me, but this is the reality, you feel me? So just always remember that. But now, once we, let me grab this. So now once you come down to this type of understanding, right? Now you always got to remember where it's like, okay, Chris, well, if I'm trying to get the hell up out of this gladiator school with all the other brand owners, what am I supposed to do? So just always remember that there's 4 pillars right here. That there's 4 pillars to running a brand, right? We got marketing, right? We got sales, we got production, and last but not least, we got design. Now, this is the reality, right? Of people that's on this side, they just eating shit for years, right? They're putting their time into the wrong places, right? So just like what we kind of set up here, where it's just like being focused, you feel me? They're not focused in the right areas. Now, a lot of people are crashing out. Y'all see me right here? All right, so a lot of people, they crashing out and they basically going like this. Oh, let me spend 90% of my time on making the design. Let me put minimal effort on finding a manufacturer. Oh, now you got your little sample, right? So now you thinking that you're ready to go sell some shit. And then you got a sad face. Oh, let me just throw this down. So now you got a sad face because now you're not getting no sales at all with your brand. And then everybody comes up in my DM and then now they screaming for help when it comes into the marketing. You feel me? So this is what you really supposed to be doing in reality when it comes to running up your brand. All right, so I'm about to show y'all. Let me go like this. So like I said, and I know that everybody on here wants to do less and they want to make more. So they need to be spending 95% of their time, 95%. 95% of your time needs to be spent on the front end, right? Because if you do some marketing, you're gonna, obviously it's a funnel. You're gonna get some type of awareness. It's gonna bring some type of interest, and those interests is gonna bring people that actually, out of 1 million people or whatever it may be, or 100,000 people that see your shit, they actually gonna buy, right? Then when somebody buys, now we taking their money and then we going down to production. And I'm assuming that we're doing like a pre-order or whatever it may be. And then from there, it's just all like, we're not bringing nothing new into the marketplace until we have found like product market fit, which I kind of talk about over here. But I hope you get where like I'm going with this, right? So just always remember that right now, and this is the thing that like a lot of people, they resist this because they suck. But the thing is, the reality is that everything that you've ever done in your life, when you first started, you was not good. The first time you ever even wrote words, it wasn't good. The first time you ever even shot a basketball, it was not good. So the difference between me, you, and Stephen Curry is the motherfucker has 2 million, 3 million more shots than us in a lifetime. You think he wasn't shooting like that at 5 years old, 6 years old? He just did more input. So my whole thing is that if I spend 95% of my time on the marketing, and like I said, is if you a brokey, then all you have is time. And all you have to do is make content. And if you got money and if you got a brand that's already proven or a product that's already proven, put some ads behind that thing and spend 95% of your time making ad creatives, right? So if I spend 95% of my time on the front end of the brand, you're trying to tell me out of 1,000 posts that I'm not going to see some type of organic sales? You're trying to tell me I'm not going to go viral? And if we even break everything on an 80-20 scale, even if I posted 100 times, I know for a fact 80 of them might not do good, but 20 would do better than the 100. So then I look at the 20 videos that was working on the organic content, and then I just do 100 more of what was already working. Then I sit back and then I see what was working out of that 100, take the 20, boom, and I just keep rinsing and repeating, but that's gonna bring in sales. Now I'm taking other people's money to go buy my units, right? And then now I'm keeping probably some bottom line net profit to be able to reinvest into the brand. And then the only time I'm really putting my energy and time into the design is if I do not have product market fit, but that's something I'll talk about in another video. So now since we got that type of understanding, now we're moving up to the 4 pillars on just certain things that we can be doing. So now when it comes into the marketing side of everything, now there's certain things that we can do. Like I said, we got organic when it comes to TikTok and IG. We can run ads, we can hit up influencers, but I don't recommend hitting up influencers until you already have like a proven concept and like a proven brand, or you already have a product that's already proven. Because if it's already proven, all the influencer is gonna do is just amplify it even more, you feel me? So then we can do guerrilla marketing and et cetera. And like I said, click the link down below If you want to know like every single thing to do inside of a pillar, obviously I couldn't fit it on this whiteboard, but if you want to check out me helping out other clothing brand owners and see what my program is all about, you can click the link below for that. But let's get back to it. When it comes even into sales, we got Shopify and we got CRO, basically like how we gonna build out this conversion to make the site so converted to where like people are gonna make impulse purchases and stuff like that. We got email, obviously email marketing, we got SMS, pricing and offers, and that's something that a lot of people don't talk about as well. We got PLs as far as like profit and loss with the whole entire company. We got LTV, which is lifetime value. Like, so if you came in right now to buy this jacket, even though that this is a Lord knows jacket, I know you see it, you feel me? So let's just say you came in to grab this jacket for the first time. I'm trying to make sure that this isn't your last time buying from me. So how can I make the experience, the service, the fulfillment, everything so good that now I'm in a reoccurring business and now you just keep coming back wanting to buy more and more and more from me, right? And et cetera. Then when we get into production, you feel me? We got calendar, building out a production calendar that people don't talk about. We got sampling, you know what I'm saying? We got to be months ahead, seasons ahead when it comes to that. Obviously tech packs, customer service, 3PL, in-house, production, profit and loss, net 15, net 30s, sourcing, you know what I'm saying? Wholesalers, even within the United States of America, when it just comes to, you know, getting your wholesale blanks and everything like that. And it's so much more even with the production, because you always got to remember that the production is a supply chain technically of your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the heartbeat. So this comes with a lot of duties, you feel me? And then over here we got obviously design, and this is like product market fit, being seasons ahead, taking the concept to reality, etc., all that good stuff. But all this time, when you learning how to do all of this stuff, or when you got a team that's doing all of this for you, this is what you're doing right here. You're skill stacking. You feel me? You're leveling up your skills that are needed to get to that next level that you want to get to. So now, once you then gain the skills, now we go over to the theory of constraints. You know what I'm saying? And every single brand has a constraint. Don't think that it's pretty for all these big brands that you see on the front end, like, damn, they win and it look like they don't make no mistakes. No, they make mistakes. And this is how I do it with people with inside of my paid program. And I'm giving it to you for free because I want you to understand probably where you at right now with your brand. So right here, we either have a marketing problem, and let's just say you don't have a marketing problem, right? So it can possibly be an offer problem. And let's just say you don't have an offer problem. Then it can be product. Let's just say you don't have a product problem, right? It can be fulfillment. Let's just say you don't have a fulfillment problem. It can be delivery. And let's just say you don't have that, then it can be feedback and optimization. This is a brand right here. This is all a brand does. They market, they sell, they get the product, they fulfill it, they deliver it, and then they get feedback and optimization from their audience. I was about to say, I don't know what I was about to say, but from their community, from their audience, you feel me? So just always remember that if marketing is on lock, then maybe it's an offer problem. If offer is on lock, then maybe it's a product problem. If the products is on lock and they move in units, maybe it's a fulfillment problem. If fulfillment is on lock, then it's probably a delivery. You know what I'm saying? And if delivery is on lock, then maybe you're not actually listening to your core audience exactly on what they want from you, right? So just always remember that you want to keep iterating until you have traffic, right? So basically slash like an audience, right? Then you want to make sure that you have an irresistible offer. You feel me? And once you have traffic coming in and then you got an irresistible offer, you want to make sure that you have a product or products that are fitting for that audience that you're trying to serve. And I'm going to tell you something, and this is what nobody tells people on YouTube or in this whole guru clothing brand space, that you got to get all three of these aligned to make money. When you look at your favorite brand right now, they got a way to bring in traffic, right? And that's with paid acquisition or organic. They have an offer, right, that is irresistible to that audience that they cater into. And then they got products that audience actually wants. So until you can get all three of these right, that's the only way that you can get to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K a month. And then that leads me up here to what I just basically said. This is month 12 right here. This is month 1. Month 1, month 12, this is you and a select few people. And now you're over there touching 10, 30, 40, 50K a month, and you're a happy person. So remember, this is the eat and shit phase. And then this right here, this is the momentum phase. If you want to see more raw videos like this, where I'm just giving it to you raw and just from a pure place, just comment below, whiteboard, and I'll make more of these. I thought it would be cool to kind of change up my style and do everything on the whiteboard with this one. And on top of that too, this kind of took me a minute to build out. But with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.